You stole my dog. Mia Carter froze. Across the counter stood a man who looked like he owned the world, tall, sharp-eyed, and way too serious for a flower shop. Bailey, the golden retriever she rescued in last night's storm, wagged his tail. Then the man, Ethan Blackwood, pulled out his wallet. How much do you want? Mia's jaw tightened. He thinks this is about money? But what she didn't know, Ethan wasn't just here for the dog. He was here for her. Police car lights stay till the end. Some love stories start with a storm and a secret. Police car light. The rain fell in relentless sheets, drumming against the faded awning of Bloom and Grace, Mia Carter's flower shop. It was past 9, and Mia's hands ached from wiring roses all day. A single mother with a 6-year-old son, Liam, she barely kept the lights on, let alone dreamed of anything beyond survival. She locked the door, her coat damp from a broken umbrella, when a soft whine pierced the storm. Under the flickering street lamp stood a golden retriever, his golden fur plastered to his frame, amber eyes wide with desperation. Mia froze. Liam's allergies were a constant struggle. Dusty air sent him into sneezing fits, and her budget groaned under the weight of rent and groceries. But the dog's trembling form tugged at her heart. "All right, you win," she muttered, crouching to check his collar. A tag glinted. Bailey. No phone number, no address. She sighed, scanning the empty street. One night, then we find your people. Upstairs, in her cramped apartment, Mia toweled Bailey off while Liam, bundled in a blanket, sneezed from the couch. "Mom, he's cool, but my nose is gonna explode," he croaked, peering over his comic book. Mia laughed despite herself. "We'll track down his owner tomorrow, kiddo. One night of heroics won't take us down." Bailey curled up by the radiator, his warmth seeping into the room. Mia didn't know it yet, but that soggy stranger would unravel her carefully guarded world. The next morning, Mia was arranging daisies behind the counter when the shop's bell jingled. A man stepped in tall, imposing, his tailored suit a sharp contrast to the shop's weather charm. His dark hair was swept back, and his gray eyes scanned the room with a detached intensity. Bailey, sprawled by the register, leapt up, tail wagging like a metronome. "That's my dog," the man said, his tone clipped and authoritative. "I've been searching for him." Mia crossed her arms, sizing him up. "He was out in the rain last night, alone. I took him in." "I appreciate it," he replied, pulling a sleek leather wallet from his pocket. "How much do I owe you?" Her eyes narrowed. "He's not a transaction. I didn't do it for cash." He paused, fingers hovering over a wad of bills. "Everyone has a price." "Not me," she snapped. "Take him and go." The man studied her, a flicker of intrigue breaking through his icy facade. "Ethan Blackwood," he said, pocketing the wallet. "And you are?" "Mia Carter." She gave a curt nod, turning back to her flowers. Ethan leashed Bailey, but at the door he lingered. "You're not what I expected," he murmured, almost to himself, before stepping into the drizzle. Mia assumed that was the end. She was wrong. Ethan Blackwood wasn't accustomed to defiance. As CEO of Blackwood Enterprises, he wielded power over markets and men alike. People bowed to his will or his wealth without question. Yet Mia Carter, with her stubborn pride and that cluttered shop, gnawed at him. 2 days later, he found himself back at Bloom and Grace, Bailey trotting beside him, under the flimsy excuse of proper thanks. Mia was pruning lilies, her sleeves rolled up, when he walked in. "You again," she said, arching an eyebrow. "Bailey missed you," Ethan replied, a rare smirk tugging at his lips. "And I owe you coffee." She snorted. "I don't drink coffee with billionaires who think I'm for sale." "Then it's not a purchase," he countered, leaning against the counter. "It's an apology." Against her instincts, Mia agreed. At a diner down the street, she poked holes in his polished cynicism, his world of deals and leverage, with tales of late-night deliveries and Liam's superhero obsession. Ethan listened, drawn to her unguarded honesty. It stirred memories of his mother, Eleanor, who'd filled his childhood with laughter until cancer claimed her when he was 12. Mia wasn't her, but she carried that same fierce authenticity. "You don't trust anyone, do you?" Mia asked, stirring her coffee. "Trust is a liability," he said, his voice low. "People always want something." Not always, she replied. Sometimes they just want to save a wet dog. He chuckled, but it was tinged with bitterness. You're naive. And you're lonely, she shot back. Money can't buy that away. Their connection took root, fragile yet persistent. Ethan started appearing at the shop, sometimes with Bailey, sometimes alone, claiming he needed flowers for his office. Mia saw through it, but let it slide. He'd linger, asking about her day, while she ribbed him about his stiff suits. One stormy evening, as thunder rumbled, he stayed late, helping her stack vases. "Why do you keep coming back?" she asked, locking the register. He hesitated, then said, "You remind me of someone I lost." "Your mom," she guessed, catching the shadow in his eyes. He nodded. "She was the only one who didn't see me as a tool. After she died, I shut everyone out." Mia softened. "I get it. Liam's dad bailed when he was 2. I built my own walls. But you can't hide forever." "Maybe," he murmured. "But it's safer." Their first kiss came a week later, under the awning as rain lashed the street, a sudden, electric collision of longing. But as they grew closer, Ethan's edges sharpened. His corporate life, endless meetings, overseas calls, pulled him away, and Mia sensed his fear of vulnerability. She'd catch him gazing at her, only for him to retreat into silence. The tension snapped one crisp afternoon in a park, Bailey bounding between them. "I like you, Mia," Ethan confessed, his voice raw. "More than I should. But I don't know how to do this. Love closeness. It scares me." "Then let it scare you," she urged. "I'm scared too, but I'm here." He shook his head. "I can't lose someone again." He turned and left, leaving her stung but resolute. She wouldn't beg. A week of silence followed. Mia buried herself in work, convincing herself Ethan Blackwood was a closed chapter. Then the bell chimed, and there he was, rain-soaked, hollow-eyed. "I was wrong," he said. "I've run from this my whole life, but I don't want it anymore. I love you, Mia." She crossed her arms. "Words are cheap." "I know," he said, stepping closer. "Let me prove it." She studied him, then nodded. "No more running." He didn't. Ethan plunged into her world, helping Liam with math despite the boy's sneezes, fixing the shop's leaky sink, even attempting and failing to arrange tulips. But shadows crept in. One night, Ethan's phone buzzed, and his face drained of color. "It's my father," he said. "He's dying. He wants me." Mia gripped his hand. "You don't have to face him alone." Victor Blackwood was a cold, calculating man who'd forged Ethan's distrust. In a sterile hospital room, he sneered at Mia. "The florist who's tamed my son. You think you've won." "I don't own him," she replied. "He's his own man." Victor's laugh was a rasp. "He'll never escape me. I've left him a gift." Ethan tensed. "What did you do?" "You'll see," Victor said, eyes gleaming, before slipping into a coma. He died hours later. The gift arrived days later. A letter revealing Victor had secretly bought Bloom and Grace's building years ago, planning to sell it to a developer. The deal was set to close in 30 days unless Ethan stopped it. "He wanted to punish me," Ethan growled, crumpling the paper. Mia's stomach dropped. "If they demolish it, I'm done." "I won't let that happen," he vowed. Using his wealth and connections, he bought the building back, but the cost was steep, financially and emotionally. "This was his final move," he told Mia. "He knew I'd fight for you." "Then let's turn it into ours," she said. "Something he can't touch." But the story didn't end there. As Ethan and Mia rebuilt, a new twist emerged. One evening, a woman stormed into the shop, sharp-featured, expensively dressed, clutching a photo of Bailey. "That's my dog," she snapped. "His name's Apollo. My ex stole him to spite me." Mia blinked. "Your ex?" "Ethan Blackwood," the woman said. "I'm Lauren Hayes. We were engaged 3 years ago." Ethan, entering from the back, froze. "Lauren, you kept Apollo to hurt me," she accused. "Now I want him back." Mia's mind reeled. "He's Bailey now, and he's part of our family." Lauren smirked. "Family? You're a fling, sweetheart. Ethan doesn't commit." Ethan stepped forward. "That's not true. Lauren, you left me when I wouldn't sign over half my company. Bailey's mine and Mia's." The confrontation escalated until Lauren produced a legal document claiming ownership. "See you in court," she spat, storming out. Mia turned to Ethan. You were engaged? It ended badly, he admitted. She's vindictive. I didn't tell you because I thought she was gone. The legal battle stretched weeks, draining them. Lauren's lawyer painted Ethan as a callous playboy, but Mia testified about the night she found Bailey, her voice steady. He wasn't stolen. He was lost, and he found us. The judge ruled in their favor, citing abandonment. Lauren slunk away, but the ordeal left scars. I should have told you, Ethan said that night, guilt heavy in his voice. Yeah, Mia replied. But we're past secrets now, right? He nodded. Completely. Months later, Ethan proposed inside Bloom and Grace, kneeling amid a chaotic arrangement of roses. His tribute to his mother. I was lost until Bailey found you, he said. Marry me, Mia. Tears welled as she whispered, yes. Their wedding was intimate, held in the shop, with Liam walking Mia down the aisle, sneezing proudly. A year later, they transformed Bloom and Grace into a community hub, part flower shop, part cafe, blending Ethan's resources with Mia's vision. Bailey lounged by the counter, Liam, now on allergy meds, sketching nearby. One evening, as they locked up, Ethan pulled Mia close. I never thought I'd have this, a real family. She smiled. Sometimes it just takes a rainy night and a lost dog. Under the awning where it began, with the shop glowing behind them, they knew love had rewritten their story. One petal, one fight, one choice at a time.